Okay.
I got a feeling that this swear jar might be pretty full by the end of this evening. Isn't that right, Del?
Far from it, mate.
This is Talk Posh. Right. Don't you sound off, Jacko?
It's not mine.
Whose is it?
It's yours.
It's me.
Hello. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It was Del.
It wasn't me.
Right, nice to see you, everyone. Sorry about the interruption. We was just discussing how much Del put in the swear jar. How much you got for us tonight, mate?
Oh, well, I've only got a couple of quid.
Only a couple of quid. So you got 2 swear words tonight.
Yeah, but here's my 2 quid from last week, which is in there.
Good
so,
lad.
no swearing.
Good stuff. Anyway, welcome to Talk Posh, supported by Serpentine Green Shopping Centre. Tonight we analyse the disasters against Oldham and Oxford. We ask why Lopez continues to get a game. Plus we find out what Posh legend you voted into the Talk Posh pre-DMAC 1 to 11. I'm back in the hot seat tonight. Chris is flowing in between, behind camera, on camera, all over the place. And we've got the usuals, Del, Adam and Ben. Evening, boys.
Evening.
So where do we start? The embarrassment of losing against bottom of the table 10 men Oldham, or do we go to the thrashing at home against Oxford? I'm going to start with Chris. What do you want to start with?
Can we look forward to next week?
Yeah, okay, we're going to look forward to that. No,
No.
it's one of them. I think what we should do is just combine the two and just talk about the 2 games. You know, we went on such a good run. 9 games, was it? 1 loss, and then all of a sudden we lose 2s on the bounce. Chris, tell me about it.
I think the big thing that sticks out to me is shipping 7 goals. That shouldn't be happening for us. We should be better than that. You shouldn't go and ship 3 midweek and then let yourself concede 4 at the weekend.
I think we were expecting to ship goals, let's be honest. We was expecting to ship goals. Problem is, and that wasn't a swear, that's ship. And the problem is we're not actually putting our goals in the other end. So we can handle the 4-3s, we can handle winning 3-2. But I think the manner of the defeats, I'm never too disappointed to lose if we played well. But the last couple of halves, it's just not been good enough. It's been shocking. On Saturday, first half, I thought we was in control of the game without playing superb, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could only see one team winning. And then the second half, whatever happened, I don't know. You could blame McCann for swapping the formation around, which I'm not going to, because when you put 11 professionals on the pitch, experienced professionals, you shouldn't need someone to manage them.
But
basics.
Okay,
doing wrong.
Okay, but the argument against it is that should you change it that much? Obviously, it worked against Wigan, didn't it? Brilliantly, and we changed it and stuff. But I think
there seems to be an inherent problem there that we can't seem to play more than 45 minutes of decent football.
Yeah, but just going back, Luke. You say about McCann. I'm pretty sure McCann didn't say, right, you 3 at the back, just keep messing up. Well, nearly keep messing up. Some of it was just basics. It was embarrassing, but there just was no formation in the second half. It was just move things around. Players just should have stood up and been candid rather than, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. It was shocking.
Ben, what do you reckon went wrong? Let's go for Saturday. What happened?
Oh God! At least Saturday didn't involve having to travel a few hundred miles to put up with that sort of thing. Saturday was just disappointing all round, wasn't it? The second half, especially, we spent most of the second half trying to figure out what formation we were actually playing. Watching players, certain ones like Leo, obviously he's going to come up a lot today.
Yeah.
But like Leo was at one point, there wasn't a place on the pitch he wasn't. It was like they were really trying to move everything around to accommodate him when it might have been easier just to take him off. But away from him for the moment, and it was just disappointing.
I think as well, probably putting a bit of context on conceding 4 against Oxford. When you kind of go 2-1 down at home and that you've got to chase the game, and I think we got left open back a few times on the counter attack. It wasn't like, it wasn't Oxford playing brilliantly in that. We were just trying to go hell for leather to try and get back into the game, and I think we got exposed.
Yeah,
2 or 3 times.
They taught us how to play counter-attacking football really well on Saturday, didn't they?
I think you could see every single time that Oxford were going forward. And I could see it from suddenly in the road, you could see the whole pitch and obviously going forward. I could tell when they were going to score. And each 3 times I said it, there was just so many. The players they didn't seem to keep on their man, which was the most disappointing thing. And we go back to Tuesday at Oldham. So each of the 7 goals over the last 5 days that we conceded, it's all been from an individual error. And I think I've watched all 7 back, and it is sort of one individual error that's cost that goal. You cut that out, and we get back together how we were at the start of August, and we're actually a team playing together, communicating together. Those 7 individual errors don't happen.
And it was a bit. Also, we weren't looking to chase the game on Saturday. We were losing. We were 2-1 down, and from that point, every time they left one person up, we had the next 3 or 4 people in that part of the pitch.
We look at how it was at Oldham. So even when we were losing at Oldham and it was 1-1, we were chasing the game massively. Even go back to when it was 3-2 and we still had 5 minutes good. I don't think Oldham actually got out of their own half.
No,
that's 5 minutes. It's
like
how we used to be. And even, I know obviously your last 5 minutes you literally push everyone and the keeper up. But we were pushing it massively, and it's how we should have been playing at 2-1 down. It's just, it is so disappointing that we've let the momentum slip.
I think it's a manner. You know, as I alluded to a minute ago, I don't mind losing. I can handle losing. I think we're realistic. We're in 4th place, which is superb. I never expected to be in 4th.
Yeah.
I think it's a manner of the defeats.
Agreed.
What I also saw on Saturday for the first time this season is, we've been togetherness in the team has been superb. There was a lot of Maddison moaning at Marriott moaning at Maddison. There's a lot of bickering on the pitch, which, not really seen.
It wasn't just in the pitch, unfortunately.
No, it
was in the stands as well.
Yeah.
The first time on Saturday, we were booed. But I don't care.
I ain't getting into that.
But I think we still had a good start to the season. Fair enough if we were bottom of the league and we're losing in that manner.
But we're not.
But
we're not. And the thing is, it's expectations. It's like any club across the land. Once you start performing, expectations go up. So every crowd, including me, including probably all of us, expectations also go up, especially when the good start of the season. So it's how you handle that. And lads, we shouldn't have lost. To 10 men on Tuesday, we should not have lost that game.
No, we shouldn't have. But the other thing was on Tuesday is that even though it wasn't a great game, it could very well have ended 0-0. That's the way it was going. But it hinged on decisions. I know McCann said that he didn't believe it was a penalty, but it was right in front of us. Ricky Miller was brought down. It wasn't as cleverly won as Marcus Maddison's penalty was, but Ricky Miller was brought down. If he had scored that, we'd have been in front. We'd have had more men back. I don't think Oldham would have got back into the game.
It's all this plus and maybe, isn't it? We are where we are. We're still in 4th. Let's not be too disappointed, but it's just a manner, as I say. I think it's the performance that's disappointed me.
Definitely. Let's get some. Chris. Just get some reaction from people at home. Thank you for watching and listening once again. Mark Carter says, not a time for blaming individuals. It's just been an awful week. There's a lot of stuff going on mentioning Leo. Kyle says, I know Leo hasn't been playing well, but people need to remember he's only 18 and at times he's not playing his preferred position. So just one more. If you are behind Lopez after Oldham game, I'd be angry and quit football. I think that was from Dan Wade. I think we should go to
Let's go back to Leo.
Yeah, I think we should go to
says Leo's not been playing well. Now, I do disagree. Leo's been playing well when he's been playing in the position
he's meant to
be playing. When he's been playing in the right wing position or the right back, whatever way, he hasn't been playing
Whose fault is that?
That's not his fault. I said that last season. I said it this season. It's not his fault.
So he's been playing in a position that he's not used to. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago, in training and stuff, don't you think he should be doing more training after where everyone's gone home? Perhaps he is. I don't know. We don't know. Yeah, I know. But to make that position his own, if he's not, because we said again, he's not going to get in that centre midfield position, is he? So if he's going to play in that, he's got to be training and training more and learning that position.
But if he's as good as they say he's going to be, then he should be challenging for a centre midfield spot. Why can't he at the moment? Let's face it, it's not like his fight isn't as hard as it was. Chettle is out. Forrester's suffered his loss of form. He hasn't got as many players to get past to get in that midfield as he did before.
We dropped Doherty, didn't we, for the Oxford game, and brought in Anderson. So that was dropping a defensive midfielder for an attacking style midfielder. Why wasn't that done earlier on in the season?
It obviously didn't work.
Well, I'm not saying it didn't work at this time, but that switch around, why hasn't McCann tried that option before and brought Leo into the midfield? back when Guillaume was still fit and that, Hughesy was capable of playing left wing back. Guillaume was capable of playing right wing back. There was an opportunity to bring Leo in, starting from the front in the centre of midfield. He didn't give him that option.
I just think we're massively, and obviously it's been said, but we're massively missing Guillaume at the minute.
Oh,
Now, although Guillaume only operates really on that left-hand side, he doesn't. You look at how he's scored a couple this season.
Yeah.
He's cut into the middle, and he's given us a little bit more spark, even onto the right-hand side, because he is that middle person.
Exactly. He's better when he goes onto the right-hand side sometimes.
And Hughesy, however much I've got no bad word to say about Andrew Hughes.
I haven't.
But he sticks to the left. Now, I saw this Saturday. Literally, he was sticking to the left. Yes, he was still trying to put the balls in from the left-hand side.
And he put some great balls
He
in.
won't go over as far as Guillaume did. So it's almost like...
confident with it.
No, he's not. But so, yes, but also we've still got 11 players on the pitch. But with Guillaume playing in a left and a middle position, it's almost like a 12th man.
Is the Hughesy thing, though, inherent of being a defender first and an attacking midfielder second? You know, Guillaume's a midfielder who's essentially having to drop back in and do a bit
The two
of
different
defending.
players, yeah.
Hughesy is naturally a defender, so he's more concerned that if he goes in, cuts inside and things like that, a hell of a long way then to try and track back all the time kind of thing. Naturally, he's probably thinking in his mind, if I stay on this left wing, I've got to go up and down,
Exactly.
I'm there to do
And I
the
think
defensive job.
If we're still talking about Leo, then I think that with Guillaume cutting in, it's like Leo and Guillaume actually meeting in the middle of the pitch, and that's where I think I've got, yes, Leo, but people getting on his backs aren't helping.
Yeah,
No,
but the
he's
thing
on
is, it's
social
because they
media,
want to. It's like you've already
you know,
said, they
and-
want to see him in his natural position. It's not like we want.
Who wants
Leo,
to see him in the natural position?
a lot of the supporters who are
Do they?
decrying him.
Okay, well, let's have a look at it again. Sorry, we'll just have a look a bit more of what's going on here because it's quite interesting. David Johnson said some guy just said Leo didn't play badly. Did you watch the game? Question mark. Again, so Andy's just joined, so apologise if discussed. Is age a factor, or is it more about just the best 11 shirts?
No, age is irrelevant. If you're good enough,
Yeah.
you're good enough. End of story. I don't get all this. Leave the lad alone. He's only 18. Leave him alone. He's only 21. Well, it's a tough world out there. Just get on with it.
You look at that Ben Woodburn from Liverpool. He's 17, and he's now a caller for the Welsh International.
Yeah.
So age is definitely not a factor.
Fair enough. One more from Gary. Johnny. We are slating Leo, but what about Miller or the lack of him? I think we should move on to Miller. When I spoke to a couple of, sorry about the fan interviews, actually, we will be showing them or putting them on YouTube later on. But when I spoke to a few people, two people that came up, Leo and Miller, people were saying that Miller just lacks a bit. He hasn't really shown what he probably can do. We haven't really seen him, I don't think, at his best.
He started 3 games though.
I know, and has he scored? Has he looked good?
He's not scored, but yet again, you go back to Saturday. He hit the post. He could have had another one in the second half. I reckon he could have had.
So, do you think he was good on Saturday?
I don't think anyone was good, personally. So, I think if you're judging, was he good on Saturday? I think it was the wrong game to judge him on. I think.
Yeah, okay, judge him on the free. Judge him on the free games then.
I think you go back to Tuesday when he came on. He brought that little bit of spark on. You can see in his shooting ability, which he's showing so far, that he's getting power behind the balls. He's just not getting the accuracy. Now, whether this is the discussion of when he was at Dover and the keepers weren't. I mean, Tuesday, I'm not being funny, the Oldham keeper was their man of the match. It was his first game. He pulled off at least 2 cracking saves from Miller on Tuesday. I feel like people were getting on his backside, because he's not scoring. I think people actually want him to have 9 goals already.
I think all of us want him to succeed.
We do want him to succeed, and I think he will. But
it's not quite happened from yet, is it?
But is it to do with his passion, Dale? Because he's too. I think he's too
fired up.
He's too
I was
fired.
sitting next to, obviously, I do sit next to people at the football. But
Yeah, that's weird.
What I said to him, I said it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a red card before he gets a goal. Because he is fired up. And I just think he needs to get that first goal to sort of calm him down a little bit. What I will say though is I don't want to be seeing all the diving that's going on with Miller. You've seen a few of it coming in. I just don't like it. I talk about Maddison, and I can't just sort of say about Maddison diving and not talk about others. But there's a couple of times where it's creeped in with Miller.
I don't think it's diving. I think it's
Well,
going
I
down,
don't
down. No, I think it's going down too softly.
The first match,
Yeah, but isn't that the
was a
same thing?
sub was a
Which is
dive.
the same thing.
That first one was a
Yeah,
dive. But I don't think he's dived since then.
I'm in Dell's.
I
field
think
here, to be
diving
fair.
and going down softly. You just said the same thing. I think it's completely different.
No,
Let's look. What? So you go back
Grant.
to
Let's go back to Grant. Okay. I thought Grant was man of the match on the first half on Saturday. But for a bloke who's so strong, who's not scared of getting into a tackle, how easy does it go down? I know he wins and fails all the time,
He
but
was playing for
Street
them.
smart.
I hate
Street smart.
it's wrong. It's not playing. It's not the spirit of the game, is it? I know other players do it
It's
and other
so in
teams
this
do it.
day and age. That's
Yeah, I
the
know,
problem.
but I'm
I
old school, and I just
think.
don't
Yeah,
see
no,
it.
no. I agree. I remember back in the day, I'd love to see a good challenge game.
It frustrates me.
You can't do
It
that now,
frustrates me.
unfortunately.
But you've also, I mean, you've seen in the news that you've seen Dele Alli's booking.
Yeah.
Now that dive there,
Oh.
he puts his
Yeah, that's a
he
dive.
puts his leg.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
That to me is a dive.
Yeah.
Ricky Miller, I don't think he's not doing a Tom
No,
Daly.
he's
His
not.
arms like that. Is
No,
he?
he's not
Which-
going. He's
Dele
going
Alli
down
thinks he
easy.
is.
He's going down easy.
So Oldham then penalty.
I would say
Ricky Miller.
definitely.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, controversial.
I would say I was straight on. He was to the side somewhere.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I can
your
see
view
more
was
of his side.
skewed. You know,
But I've
is he
watched-
banging a drum?
I've
and
watched
stuff?
it back, and I've watched Tom's access all areas
Yeah.
back, and I just don't think there's enough. I just
Okay.
don't think there is.
Well, I think it was a penalty. Now, if that wasn't a penalty, Madison's, whilst I still think it was a penalty, why is the ball going to the left and he sort of jumps to the right into the player? I don't understand the
But he
movement.
was legitimately brought down once again. It's the difference between
It was
winning
fouled.
something and cheating.
It was fouled, but he could have lost the opportunity to have the penalty because of the theatrics that went with it. Does that make
I
sense?
don't know. He didn't roll half as much as he would have last season. To be fair,
What about
Yeah.
reversing the roles though? If the defender's in front of Madison and shields the ball like that, and Madison touches him in the back and goes down,
Yeah.
100 times, and out of 100 times,
What
the referee's
Grant does.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
100 times out of 100 times,
every
the referee
defender
gives
will
it.
do that.
You
Yeah.
know,
I just-
it seems like it's a different mindset when it's the other way around. A striker can't go down as easy as a defender would do.
No, I get you. It depends what position, what part of the park it's on. But it just looked like I couldn't get my head around why he sort of jumped to the right. If he got fouled,
He knew
He did
the
get
feet
back,
were
but
coming
I
there.
just-
He probably just knew the lad was coming to
It's
the
just
side of
strange.
him.
Right, let's move on from the diving. We've seen too much of that.
There was no
let's-
diving.
no diving.
Going down.
Just going back to Miller, Ian Simmons says, and who has hyped him up, Dan? The fans, based on what they don't know. Dan Wade says, people saying he's going to score X amount of goals before the start of the season didn't help too much, hyped by some of the fans. I think that there was a bit of that, to be fair, but I think it's because when I was saying about hyped up, I think just naturally in his personalities, he's hyped himself
he's so
up.
desperate.
Not saying I'm the best. Just you can see him. He's just so passionate. Passionate is probably a better way of saying it. Isn't
He's
it?
essentially come in to cover Marias while he's injured, and Marias didn't start off scoring, banging in loads and loads of goals for us at the start of the season. Took him a few games to get off the mark, kind of thing.
Do you think with Miller, once he scores one, he's just gonna once he gets that off his chest? No,
Not necessarily.
I don't
but
think he'll be prolific.
so
I
long
think
as he's, contributing towards, especially like Marriott's going to be the top goal scorer, I think, this season.
is
That's the
Miller
obvious-
okay? So is Miller contributing enough to the team at the moment to keep his place, or does Carney replace it?
I wouldn't put either in. I'd put Madison up front for a bit.
Then who fills the hole?
Lloyd. Just
Fills the
Lloyd.
hole.
Leo.
Leo, yeah.
Leo,
Why not?
really?
I wouldn't. I'd bring Danny Lloyd in personally, but if they want to play Leo, then that gives him his place up
I'd
front
be
to prove
happier.
that he can
I'd
do
be
it.
happier to see Leo there in that position than see Leo at right wing back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But the thing is, if Miller gets 2 tomorrow, just say for
Oh, the
instance,
chance
fair
is
play.
everything.
he gets 2 tomorrow, he's going to get the backing of the fans again. Not that he's lost the backing, but he's going to get them people off his back. Is it going to, but then obviously we've then got 10 days till the next game, haven't we? After tomorrow, well, it's even longer, isn't it? Thinking about it, but
Yeah, but it's going to really put him.
it will. But like Dale said, he's not a kid because he's 28. He's one of the oldest we've got in the squad, but he is just very excited.
Yeah,
And
but like I
you
say,
can
if he
see that.
scores, then in training all week, he's going to be absolutely buzzing about it. He's going to be so looking forward to the next match, and he'll go in there with new confidence.
I think
I think a goal. I don't want to put more pressure on him, but if he scored a goal in front of the London Road end,
tomorrow.
yeah, then imagine what sort of effect that'd have on him psychologically. That's the dream of a Posh fan, isn't it?
To score,
And he would get to do it.
So
Yeah.
we'll hope.
Good stuff, Chris. Can you just show us on Twitter what people I don't think I'll put the voiceover on top over it. So just have a quick show. And this is what we asked for, one word to sum up the performance. Yeah, apologies for that. Didn't put the sound on, but you can see what some of the people were saying. Frustrating. Meh.
I like that one.
Was a good one as well. They'll sum up the two games, one word, without swearing. Else you got to put a quid in the swear jar. Wow. Adam. There. Meh. Ben.
How many words was it? I weren't listening. One. Disappointing.
Underperformance. Good stuff. Let's have a quick look before we move on. Johnny Hurst. Can we also mention Baldwin's tendency to a stupid mistake at least every game?
And then makes up for it immediately.
It happens.
Sorry, but he had no right to make. Yes, he made that mistake in the second half.
It was,
and it was an awful mistake. But previously, a defender wouldn't have made up to that. Because
we're League One. You need to remember, we're League One players. Yeah. They're going to make mistakes.
Okay. So, did you agree with Baldwin being on the bench for a couple of games?
Yes, because it suited the team which we were playing at that time.
So was that because of? So it wasn't because of Baldwin's performances at that time. He was put on the bench.
I don't think so. I don't honestly know.
If you pick your best two out of those three, who would you pick?
Well, he seems to want Taff and Taylor.
Yeah, doesn't he? Yeah,
but Taff's made a few mistakes as well.
Taylor made a few if it was your personal choice, which two out of the three would you have?
Personal choice,
it would be Taylor and Taylor.
Yeah. But I think, like you just said, I wasn't going to Taff is singing.
I don't think it's even a choice out of two, is it? Because Taff's left-footed, the other two are right-footed. So it's one out of two, basically.
So you drop your captain, your vice-captain don't play on Saturday either. He will come on later.
Is it this whole thing about captaincy, Curse?
Should we talk about captaincy later on, actually? And then just think about what we think. Just moving on, Ian Gow says, the bloke with the silly hair is speaking a lot of sense tonight.
That would be me.
You got silly hair?
I'd imagine so.
Oh,
I like the fact
yeah, one in the black shirt. Good stuff. Paul says Miller will bag a couple tomorrow. Confidence is going to be a massive part of Miller's game. Ben Polkey, yeah.
Oh, it was Wiz that said the bloke with the funny hair.
Yeah, it was. Okay, good stuff. I think what we should do is move on then, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do. Only one game to look forward to this week, isn't it? The checkyourtrump.com trophy or whatever whatever it is tomorrow night, obviously because the Charlton game's not on. Before we chat about that game, we're going to have a quiz, which is the Knowing the Opposition quiz. So we've got 10 questions about opposition tomorrow. Oh no, I've lost the questions. This is good. Chris, just get my questions out. Be on the laptop. Sorry about this. All professional here. Good stuff. So
just before you start, because obviously we're doing teams now, so it'll be myself and Del, Ben and Chris. I've got a team name for us. So what we're going to do?
Team name.
Is we're going to take the first two letters of my first name.
Okay.
And we're going to take it.
Adam.
So we're going to call ourselves Adele.
Adele.
Team Adele.
So if we go for the same, I don't think it's going to work.
We could call him Cren.
Well, let's not over chasing shadows, eh?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Anyway, so we've got Del and Adam, also known as Adele, and we've got Ben and Chris about the Know Your Opposition questions. We've got 10 questions all about opposition tomorrow night. The Cobblers. So
it's not the other team. It's the Cobblers.
The Cobblers. Now, guys, do you want questions 1 or 2?
We'll let them choose this.
Questions.
Ladies first. Adele first.
Adele first. Set A or B questions. B questions. Here we go. Easy question to start off with. The current manager.
Jimmy.
Floyd.
Hustle. Bank. I thought we could do
I didn't slip it. I didn't slip one out there.
1-0. Easy question for the boys to my right. Easy question. The ground's name.
Without swearing.
I'm going to go Sixfields then.
Yeah. Sixfields, 1-0, good stuff.
I can't say that.
Next question. If this is a Jimmy Floyd question for the Adele. What was the first English club Jimmy played for?
Leeds.
Correct, 2-1. Jimmy Floyd question for these boys. What was the last club Jimmy played for?
English club.
No, I'm not. I didn't put that in the question. Professional club. What professional club did Jimmy last play for?
It's a team in the North East, but I'm not sure if that's.
It's better than anything I've got.
I had Middlesbrough in my head.
Incorrect. It goes over.
I just got a feeling it's a Dutch club. I don't know them.
Cardiff.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Right, so it's 2-1. Next question to Adele. Before playing, so this is previous games. Before playing them in the league last year, the last time before that we played them was on the 14th of March, 2009. What was the score?
It was at home.
I know we haven't lost. I know last time
Is
we
that
lost to them.
when Zaquani got sent off?
No, that was last time we lost to them. That was in 2006. So, just repeat the question
No,
again.
we didn't lose.
So,
No, it wasn't. It was 2006.
the last time before we played them last season was in 14th of March 2009. What was the score?
We won 1-0.
Charlie Lee scored.
We won 1-0.
Correct.
Zaquani
Good
got
knowledge.
sent off.
1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Charlie
good
Lee
stuff.
scored. It was that time.
3-1. Okay. Previous games for this side. The last time we played them was in the league this season, where we won 4-1. Who scored our second goal?
Do we have a time scale? Is there a time limit?
Well, just when they get bored at home, which is probably already.
Cover that
I was
point.
even there. No.
Second,
Do you know anyone? Jack Marriott.
Oh, no, I was.
incorrect.
Junior
Pass it over.
Elias.
Oh, he's passing over and he's got it. I think you boys are absolutely smashing it. We'll go for the last question anyway. Tricky question. Their highest attendance at Sixfield was 7,798. Who against?
Is that against Health and Safety?
Is that our question?
Yes.
Oh, that was against Man United.
Correct. Absolutely smashing, boys. I give you your last question anyway. Who is their current shirt sponsor?
That's the
University.
of Northampton.
Good stuff. Adele, you won the game. You won the quiz.
Adele.
Congratulations. Well done.
What's it feel like to win for one?
What's it feel like to win?
Well, that's well.
That's more than you.
Anyway, thanks for watching and tune in next week to Know Your Opposition. That's one quiz for us. That was a good one. Anyway, let's talk about Northampton tomorrow night then. Who's going to the Checker Trunk Trophy tomorrow?
I am.
Dale's going.
Yeah.
What do we think about the game tomorrow night? Everyone's-
It's a chance to try and air some demons really and get a couple of options played up there.
I'm looking forward to seeing Danny Lloyd play a proper game from the start. Hopefully,
So Danny Lloyd's playing tomorrow, is he?
I reckon he will.
Yeah.
I reckon he will.
I think the fact it was good to see him for 20 minutes on Saturday. You could see he wanted it as well. I was actually just outside the club shop when he was walking in and someone asked him, is he playing today? And he was generally disappointed because he said, no, I'm not, mate. And even though he's on the bench, he hasn't been coming on. Now, Danny Lloyd, in my opinion, and I heard this last week, he was Maddison's replacement until the unthinkable happened in extending Maddison's loan.
Yeah.
Now, do I feel sorry for him? Yeah, I do, because he's, like I say, people are saying he's a bubbly character around the training ground, he's a good lad. But the good thing is, obviously, he's a team player, I think, and he's happy to be here, even if he's only going to make sub appearances and these checker trade appearances. Now,
But it could change, though, couldn't it? It could change.
Yeah, of
from
course
the
it can.
formation that's been happening with Maddison being pushed up top. You know, I generally think that Lloyd could do that role just behind the two of them.
now Maddison and Lloyd don't play. Obviously, they're playing they can play in the same position, but they're not going to.
They're
But
not
to
going.
keep them to, I make it sound really horrible, but to keep them as far away as each other as possible is only going to be a good thing because we're going to get more play on the pitch with them. Now, yeah, it'll be interesting to see him tomorrow, and like I say, hopefully, because I think we will be making a few changes tomorrow. I can't see Taylor playing.
No, he won't.
4 games in 10 games, won't it? And it's a bit too much.
There's also talk of Penny starting as well, isn't there?
Is that?
But these are the games you've got to start.
You've got
isn't
to,
it?
yeah. But then,
I mean, hopefully that Connor
O'Malley.
will be playing. I'd
But
like to
then
see him.
you've also got to, McCann's got to be thinking, no, I can't lose this.
We can't lose 3 in advance.
Exactly. If these lads get on tomorrow and they perform, Chris, do they get into the squad or the team on well, I was about to say Saturday, but the next game, the next league game, do they get into the team?
You would like to think so, but we've seen already this season that that's not necessarily the case. I mean, we've already touched on the issue multiple times, but there is a certain right back who can play out of his skin, and I think he'd still get dropped for the next league game if that's the case. So, and then, like you said, if like Amali comes in goal or something like that, you're going to drop Bond for him in the league game. So I think it's an awkward one, really. I like the idea of what Ben suggested earlier on, Maddison starting up front and seeing how that works from the get-go, really, while we're...
You've also got to look at it the other point of view that, yes, I've just said we can't lose 3 on the bounce, but Northampton will also want one over us. You know,
of course
they haven't beaten us for 11
years.
And,
you know, hitting a bit of form with Jimmy in charge there as well, aren't they? They're hitting a bit of form.
Well, they won the first two.
And then I think they've lost.
Did they lose?
Yeah, they're back to 22nd.
Right, okay.
Back to 22nd, but they've actually conceded less goals than us.
They have,
yeah, that's interesting, that, isn't it?
That's even more reason why we need to enjoy beating them this season, because we won't get the chance to next year.
And then you say, we're putting all this down in us. We're actually joint top goal scorers in all the leagues.
Yeah.
We're joint with Man City and Wycombe at the minute, believe it or not. But it's, we still scored 21 goals after that 10 league games. So
it's not negative, it's just a couple of halves of performances that have been disappointing.
But isn't it annoying how this time last week we were discussing how we can't perform in the first half and we always perform in the second half, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't at Wigan, but you just can't. I just can't picture how it's two.
Yeah, it's two different teams, honestly. I think. Sorry,
no, there you go.
All right, Tuesday's match has taken on more importance than it had before.
Yeah.
Before, honestly, I can't remember being less psyched up about a local derby because it's the Mickey Mouse Cup. Honestly, I'm excited about going Cambridge away because it's the first time in years. But this match I really wasn't that excited about. But now,
which you imagine they're going to be then anyway, don't you?
Yeah, but you look at the Southampton game. We was.
It was like but it was £5 to get in, weren't it?
It was, but it was still 12 on the day, and tomorrow's only 10 on the day.
Right, let's go back to Facebook and see what's going on. Kyle says let Kanu and Miller play up front tomorrow.
That wouldn't be against.
Ian Gale said this is so amateurish since Chris Foster left. Interesting.
Go watch Talk Blades.
Talk Blades, yeah. Might have fun over there. That's about it, really, in terms of that. So we'll go on to the prediction league then. Chris, do you know we haven't got that up, mate? So you're gonna have to sit back down. But do you know who's top at the moment? We haven't got that set up. We're still waiting for Alex to come back from his
massive international
trip away with his mum to America.
So look at the league yesterday. Nazif's jumped back at the top.
Nazif's back at the top.
Yeah, I don't think anyone went for an Oxford win. Unsurprisingly, the way we performed the weekend before, but a few people did go in with Marriott, first goal scorer, so they got the points there.
Good stuff. Okay, so we'll do the predictions, and we'll have to do it for tomorrow night, won't we?
Yeah.
Del, start with you, buddy.
Just gives it. We will still do it, literally.
Just that.
Oh no. Oh yeah. No, you got time to put it out?
Yeah. I'll do it straight after it. But we will get the predictions, and then, like I say, we'll close them later on. So we'll close it at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So you still got the best part of 23 hours.
Right,
Del, go for it, buddy.
I'm going to go stick with my 4-2.
It'll come in one day.
It will come in one day, and I'm going to go Danny Lloyd. I'm confident he'll start.
Okay, Adam.
I'm going to go 2-0 Miller.
2-0 Miller. I'm going to go 2-0 Kanu.
Check a trade, so I'm just going to go silly and we'll probably smash them 5-1. And I'll go Miller.
Chris?
3-1. And just for irony purposes, De Silva Lopez to score first.
That would be good.
But yet again, he scored on Saturday.
Did.
When he pushed up to his own goal, and he had that flick.
Well, if he doesn't start in the number 10 role tomorrow night, he's never going to start it this season.
Remember, guys, listening at home, watching at home, to look out for the tweet, like Adam said, tonight, and you've got until 7 o'clock to get your predictions in. Remember, get your predictions in. Even if you haven't done any yet, make sure you do for the rest of the season. There will be a good prize if you come top or even maybe second by the end of the season.
Even if you get one right, you'll probably leave out me and Dad anyway, won't you?
Yeah, that is true.
Our predictions aren't very good.
How's the fantasy Premier League going, boys?
Still upside down.
Yeah,
I'm third.
Third.
Yeah, still upside down.
You're top.
It's fine.
Good stuff. Okay, right. We're moving on to our new feature, which is the TalkPosh 9-Dart Challenge. This is where we're asking fans, ex-players, celebrity scorers, and the lads in the studio to take part in the 9-Dart Challenge. The players' score from 9 darts will put on this leaderboard, and a winner announced at the end of the season. At the moment, Johnny's top with 126. I'm second, 116, and Adam 82. So tonight it's the turn of this man here, Ben. Here it is.
It's the kind of beat to go.
Ben, one in a challenge. You won.
You keep walking in front of the camera now.
Well done, lad.
39, 36. Please, I got one was in my bed on my own mic. And then I got one. That's denying or nothing. It's not. No, it's not included.
What's your name?
Oh.
173. Ben, well done, buddy. 173.
Well done.
And he goes in to the lead on the leaderboard. There you go. So remember, if you want to get your name on this leaderboard, and there might also be a prize if you become the leader and win at the end of the season. Might be a prize for that as well. So send us your details and get that recorded and send it over to us. Dale, we've got something special in the next couple of weeks, haven't we?
We have indeed. We've got a couple of people coming on. So next week, what's his name? Alex will come back, tidy it all up. Yeah, look forward to it.
Good stuff, Dale. Okay, before we look at the 1 to 11, just a quick reminder that later in the show we're going to be doing the bet of the week. So if you've got any bets that you want to make for tomorrow night's game, get your bet ideas in. Obviously, that is sponsored by our friends at the Head to Head Barbers over in Yaxley. So get your bets in. Before we go on to the 1 to 11, we just had the chat while the darts was on, and we haven't mentioned obviously the injuries that's happened to Junior. Lads, it's a big miss, isn't it?
That's it. Last season when you interviewed me behind the ground, I said I think we're going to be a star this season, and I think he started off being. I think he started warming to a lot of fans. I just love his passion, his attitude. Even now, he's injured, and he's still sort of the man's so positive.
Yeah,
it's excellent.
He is.
Isn't he? Do you know what I mean? You see him on the pitch, and I just like him. I think he's a top.
You might not have seen from where you were sat. When Marriott scored his
with his
first
crutches.
with his crutches.
Yeah,
I was it?
fair
It was
play.
lovely.
Yeah, I'm gutted. I think he's one of the worst players that we could have had to have a long-term injury.
It's hard because we was obviously discussing, do you start Miller, do you start Junior? Now, Junior had actually sort of cemented his place in the first team of Marriott, and they really do. They got on with each other, didn't they? There was a connection between them. You know, there's all the fancy handshakes with them, but yeah, they were really starting to look good. Unfortunately, I said this to someone else, it's not the negativity which I want to bring, but I can't actually see him. And you look at it, he's going to be back March. He's then got to get time for fitness back up. I just can't see him.
His estimate at the end of the day, it's the first time he's had it. He's had his operation. Is it today or yesterday?
He's going down tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and these things, they can really drastically change in time. So they say March, maybe that's a worst case scenario.
Yeah, I did say 45, but I don't know.
Was it an impact injury? Sorry.
It went down his hand.
So it was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because Grant McCann, not so long ago, and he's probably just jinxed himself, didn't he? Because he's done an interview with BBC Cambridgeshire saying that the fitness levels and what Mackenzie's doing as a fitness coach and everything, sports scientist, he's doing a really good job, and they're in the peak fitness. And he doesn't think that there'll be a lot of injuries just by that, by going down his own, and then all of a sudden it happens.
And he was saying that Junior felt fine before the game and everything, because obviously they have a brief. And it's really weird, because like I said, I mean, currently sharing with the under 23 sports scientist, and he's saying that the stuff they go through and everything, they couldn't see it.
I mean, the pitch was really heavy that night. I mean, you can see it, yeah.
As well,
so that might have contributed to it. He might have put it down too hard. There's so many different things that could have
made
happened.
it even worse by the way the paramedics carried him off the pitch, which was absolutely atrocious.
And that's when you knew how bad it was, because when we were all chanting afterwards as he was being carried off, you know, they usually, even from the stretcher, they'll give you a little acknowledgement. He was just in so much pain. Yeah.
And obviously, we've had an injury in the studio, Del, as well, mate.
Are we?
We're downstairs, bless her.
Thursday.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really dry.
Yeah.
So, put a kettle on, we'll be down soon.
That's our tea lady, by the way. Kirsty, go and make us a tea, will you? Good job.
And then obviously we've got Guillaume set up, but that is coming back. You've got to look that tomorrow will be his last game out. And we're back for the Gillingham game. So
I think he'll make a massive difference.
That will.
I mean, it showed what difference it makes him not being in, especially the games where him and Grant were both missing, because there were two of those, and they were probably the two of the worst displays we've had this season.
Oh, yeah. And Grant didn't get lopsided, did he?
No, he didn't.
Fair play.
Fair play. Let's have a look what's going on Facebook. Johnny said, Chris, can you pick Domino's up on the way home, please, mate?
No, not happening.
Okay. Daniel says, Miss Junior's energy Saturday. Agreed. Closing down and work rate seems to energise the whole team and the crowd. Agreed with that. Yeah, totally. Dan says, regarding Junior, a lot of goals gone that may or may not be replaced. And then a couple of bet of the week. So we've gone to the bet of the week, sponsored by Headswear Barbers. Johnny says, bet of the week, both teams to score in both halves. Andy says, both to score and Posh to win. I'm going to go with Johnny's. Let's just get it there. Johnny, thank you for that. And Liam, if you're watching, mate, if you could stick that bet on for tomorrow night, that would be much appreciated. Right, let's get on to the TalkPosh 1 to 11 then. So this is where we look at the 1 to 11, and it's decided by you guys at home. Obviously, at the moment, we've got David Seaman in goal, left back Jury, Chrissy Turner at centre back, and Noel Luke at right back. We have got Mick Housel in the middle with the Faz at left back, and right midfield is Sterling. Thank you, Del.
Sorry, mate,
cheers, buddy.
Sterling, that was a trick question.
So we asked for the strikers, and now I think it was a bit of a close one, apparently. Adam?
Yeah, between Adcock and Kenny, but it was judged. It was just edged, even. No surprise, in my eyes, personally, between D McLaughlin. I weren't actually there to watch him play, but
Ben,
he's got a smile on his face.
Talk me about, because you had a bit of thoughts about who should be the striker.
No, my personal belief was it should have been Terry Bly. Even at my age, I think it's ridiculous a man like him isn't regarded our best ever striker. But from an age perspective, all that, I just found it strange that Tony Adcock was so close to being the number one pick. There was a massive. I mean, I'm not knocking him. He was good He was good when he was on form. But there were times when he went massive patches where he did nothing and
months without scoring.
Yeah, really.
But when he was on fire, he was on fire.
And that man, there's a reason we call him King.
And there's a reason why we signed him 3 times.
Yeah,
yeah.
And we sold him at a profit every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
So Kenny takes our striker position in the pre-DMAC 1 to 11, and next week we're going to be looking at who is going to pair Chris Turner at centre back. Boys, just off your top of your head, who do you think?
Andy Edwards.
Yeah. Andy Edwards.
That Cruyff turn against Chelsea.
Oh, went down in history, didn't it?
Just very quickly, just for you guys here, out of the lineup that we've got now, is your captain in there?
Oh, without
yeah,
that.
Captain's there.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
You're joking.
Yeah, he's right there.
Without that.
But centre half's going to have a lot of people vying for that. I mean, you said Andy Edwards.
My two just said Sadie Burton.
My two would be like David Robinson or Gary Breen.
Yeah, Gary Breen.
Gary Breen, yeah.
Yeah, he was a good youngster.
He had an award named after him. Gary Breen, man of the match. That's what it was every week.
He was man of the match.
Yeah.
Every week, wasn't he?
So like I said, we're only 3 off the full pre-DMAC 1 to 11.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then after that, we're going to go on to the.
No,
we're not.
We're
going to go on to the worst of all time.
Of all time. Yeah.
Worst of all time player. So that should
That's
be
in
quite a
3
funny
weeks'
and
time.
interesting one. So some of the names that you lot put on as funny answers,
Might
will
actually
no
come up.
doubt will be in this team. So good
forward
stuff.
to that
Right.
one.
I think that is about it. So cheers to all our sponsors, Serpentine Green Shopping Centre, Head to Head Barbers and the spicemarket.co.uk. And they actually sponsor our fan interviews, which will be coming out later tonight or tomorrow. Just wonder when I can get that sorted. Cheers for the lads in the studio. Cheers to everyone watching at home. Really, thank you for your support. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And up the posh.
Even.
Sorry, Chris, didn't get enough time there, did I? Go for it.